stage next. Welcome your next comic, Mary Schatschneider. She was close. It's Schatschneider. And yes, my name is Mary Schatschneider, and that's a lot to take in all at once. So I like to break it down for people. Schat is cat in French. Schneiders are a type of hot dog wiener. So Mary Schatschneider becomes the virgin cat wieners. So we've all had our fair share of shitty day jobs. Like all around. I used to do housekeeping in a hotel. And I'll tell you right now, that's a soul-sucking job. But you should be nice to your housekeepers when you're away, because they're the ones who decide which rag to use when wiping out your glasses. So keep that in mind. I don't know why I did that job though, because let's be real, you can get paid a lot better to be on your knees in a hotel room. So speaking of my mouth. I found out I have to get one of those mouth guards you sleep in, and I told my mom this, and she was like, yeah, I used to have one of those. First time I wore it, I woke up and it was stuck to my back. Oh, yeah, Mom, that's weird. Okay. So I got one. Weirdest thing, first time I wore it, I woke up and it was stuck to my mom's back. It was one of those nights. I've been finding as I've been growing up that it's the little things your parents say that really kind of needle their way into your lives. Like I was hanging out with my dad, it couldn't have been more than 5. We were skipping rocks into a lake, and I picked up this one rock and I just hurled it as far as I could into the middle of the lake. My dad turns to me and he goes, Mary, do you have any idea how long it took that rock to get up there? You just set it back about 500 years. So now I have this really intense empathy for everything. Like, I have to use my pens in a certain order so that none of them feel left out. I held a support session for my Batman action figures because I made them fight when they could have been friends. And you know those tiny little scraps of toilet paper on the end of the little cardboard roll? If I don't use those, they haven't completed their life's purpose, and I can't have that on my shoulders. Sometimes I'll just use the whole cardboard roll, like... I'm a big fan of my dad, though. We get along. And he wants to take a trip to the Middle East. He wants to go check out the Holy Land. And he's like, hey, Mary, why don't you come with me? He's like, ooh, Dad, no, I think we all remember what happened to the last Mary that was over there. I am not prepared to have a child, let alone the second coming of Christ. You know, you gotta think what it would be like to raise second Jesus in this day and age. He'd be like 3 years old, and he's always drunk, because whatever's in a sippy cup is wine. Then he'd be like 8, trying to create life in the living room. I'm gonna assume that's a pretty messy hobby, like there aren't enough ShamWows to clean that shit up. Then he'd be like 13, all emo and blaming himself for everyone else's sins. Like, I don't have time, second Jesus. Like, I think the point of the story is that I would be a bad mother. And I just don't feel that Jesus Schatschneider has the same ring to it. I recently found out I have a hostile uterus. People are like, there's guys in here that are like, oh, here she goes, going to talk about her period. No, I'm not. This has nothing to do with my period. And you show me a guy comic who doesn't talk about his baby maker, then we'll have a chat. Anywho, so what it means is that it's really, really difficult for me to have children. And people are like, oh my God, Mary, that must suck. Like, that's what your body was made for. Firstly, no, that's not what my body was made for. Secondly, as previously stated, we don't need another Miracle Mary flavored baby, no thanks. And thirdly, I was actually more pissed off because I spent so much money on birth control when I had my own built-in all along. Are you fucking kidding me? So I was like talking to my doctor and I was like, is this something I need to be worried about? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, so it's not just going to explode or anything? And he looks at me and he goes, it shouldn't. Basically what I'm saying is, front row, if this thing goes off, you're in the splash zone. So, thank you very much. I'm Mary Schatschneider.